One whistle can change everything. From missed calls to controversial decisions, some games were never the same again. Players were left stunned, fans were furious, and history was rewritten. Referees have stepped in and turned history into embarrassment. And the worst part? Half the time, these refs act like they're bigger than the game itself. Take Anthony Edwards, for example. Dude pulled off one of the nastiest dunks we've ever seen. The kind of dunk that should be plastered on posters for years. He cut backdoor, elevated, and just as he was about to baptize his defender, the refs blew the whistle. Offensive foul. They straight up deleted a highlight from NBA history. Edwards' head was literally above the rim, and the crowd was ready to explode, but the officials had other plans. That's not just ruining a play, that's killing the soul of the game. And it doesn't stop with Edwards. Giannis Antetokounmpo once literally stepped out of bounds before scoring. Plain as day. Every replay showed it. He was walking the sideline like it was a balance beam, and somehow, the refs ignored it. That should have sent the game into overtime, but instead it ended in pure robbery. Imagine training your whole life, only to have your season stolen because the ref forgot how to use his eyes. Damian Lillard knows that pain all too well. Late game, Portland down by 2. Dame drives to the rim, lays it up, and Rudy Gobert clearly goaltends the shot. The ball was on its way down, obvious as hell, and the refs swallowed the whistle. Portland lost the game. And even Jazz players admitted after the game, it was a goaltend. The opponents knew it, the fans knew it, everybody knew it except the guys who get paid to know it. Dame went off after the game, and honestly, who could blame him? These refs didn't just miss a call, they robbed Portland of a chance to win. It's garbage like this that fuels the conspiracy theories about refs having their own agendas, but sometimes it's not even about a missed call. Sometimes it's about refs who straight up make themselves the center of attention. Scott Foster's the perfect example. This guy has built a reputation for ejecting players just because he feels like it. Remember when he tossed Scotty Barnes for literally talking to himself? Barnes wasn't arguing with anyone. He wasn't even trash talking. He just muttered something under his breath, and Foster decided he had enough. Technical ejection, game over. Barnes walked off the court looking like he just got grounded for no reason. Imagine paying hundreds of dollars for a ticket just to see a ref turn into the main character, and that's not even the craziest one. Blake Griffin and Reggie Evans once high-fived each other. Literally, just high-fived. And the refs called a technical foul. I'm dead serious. Since when did showing love to your teammate become a crime? Calls like that make you wonder if refs get bored and just want to test how far they can push it. It's pathetic. The NBA markets itself as entertainment, but how entertaining is it when the guys in charge keep stripping the fun away? And if you think that's wild, wait until you hear how referees manage to cost LeBron James entire games. LeBron James has been on the wrong end of bad calls more than once, but one of the worst came against the Celtics. Final seconds, tie game. LeBron drives hard to the rim, gets hacked across the arms, clear as day. Everybody saw it. Even Stevie Wonder would have seen that foul. But the refs? Silence. No whistle. LeBron missed the layup. The game went to overtime, and Boston walked away with the win. The Lakers were furious. Pat Bev even grabbed a photographer's camera and showed the ref the replay mid-game. And still, nothing. Imagine being the face of the league, getting fouled right in front of a referee, and they act like it never happened. That's straight disrespect. But refs don't just ruin regular games. Sometimes they change the course of history. Kevin Durant once saved a ball that was so far out of bounds, he might as well have been sitting in the front row with fans. Dude's heels were halfway into the stands, and the ref was standing a foot away. No whistle. KD flicks it back in. Curry hits the shot, and the Warriors steal momentum. That single missed call was so obvious, it broke the internet. How do you miss a guy literally standing out of bounds? Unless, of course, you don't care about making the right call. And that's what's so infuriating. The refs can ruin a playoff game with a single blown whistle, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. It gets worse. The 2010 NBA Finals. Lakers versus Celtics, one of the greatest rivalries in basketball. With 2 minutes left in Game 2, the Celtics had momentum, up by 3. The ball gets tipped out of bounds. Replay clearly shows it went off the Lakers. Celtics ball. Easy. But the referees not only botched the call, they had the chance to review it, and still stuck with the wrong decision. Think about that. Multiple angles, slow motion replays, thousands of fans screaming, millions watching at home, and the refs doubled down on stupidity. Calls like that swing entire championships. That's not just a mistake, that's malpractice. And when the playoffs come around, things only get uglier. 2018 Thunder vs. Jazz elimination game. The refs first gave Paul George 3 free throws on a clear foul, then suddenly changed their minds and erased it. Just like that. Later, with the Thunder fighting for their season, Russ gets hacked on a game-tying attempt. Obvious foul. Nothing called. Jazz advance. Thunder sent home. That's not just one bad whistle. That's an entire playoff series being handed away, and fans wonder why people scream that the NBA is rigged. But sometimes the proof goes beyond bad calls. It's referees caught red-handed fixing games. Because one ref was so dirty, he got banned from the league and eventually exposed the NBA's darkest secrets. The craziest part is that sometimes these refs aren't just bad, they're corrupt. Tim Donaghy proved that. This man wasn't just missing calls, he was betting on the games he was reffing. Think about how insane that is. The guy holding the whistle, the guy who controls every single possession, was literally gambling on the outcome. For years, Donaghy fixed games, made shady calls, and pocketed money off it. And when the FBI finally caught him, he admitted to betting on over 100 games, many of which he worked himself.
With that, Scottie Pippen came off the bench at the first time out and said we were taking bets in the locker room to see how long it was going to take to see you give him a technical foul when we found out you were officiating.
But Donaghy wasn't the only disaster with a whistle. Joey Crawford might go down as the most power-drunk ref in league history. This man tossed out players for laughing on the bench. Tim Duncan, one of the calmest superstars ever, literally got ejected for smiling. Crawford even admitted he thought Duncan was mocking him, so he booted him out of a playoff game. That's not officiating. That's a ref on an ego trip. Crawford once called fouls on players who weren't even involved in the play. He turned games into a circus act, dancing around, acting like a celebrity, and the NBA let him get away with it for years. The only reason they finally stepped in was because he went so far off the rails, they had no choice but to suspend him. But honestly, they should have banned him the second he started making himself bigger than the game. And if you want the definition of a rigged outcome, look no further than the 2002 Western Conference Finals. Kings versus Lakers. Game 6. The Kings had the Lakers on the ropes, the score tied heading into the 4th, and then suddenly, the whistle turned into a weapon. The Lakers shot 27 free throws in one quarter. 27. That's more than they averaged in entire games throughout the series. Meanwhile, the Kings barely got to the line. Every touch foul was called against Sacramento. Every drive by the Lakers turned into free throws. The NBA desperately wanted the Lakers in the finals, and the refs made sure it happened. That game is still called the most rigged in NBA history, and for good reason. It robbed the Kings of a championship and proved the league was willing to sacrifice fairness for ratings. And that's what makes it all so infuriating. These aren't just small mistakes. These are refs erasing highlights, ruining careers, swinging playoff series, and even manipulating finals outcomes. The NBA is supposed to be about competition at the highest level, but too often it feels like it's about who the refs decide should win. And if you think the worst is behind us, just remember, these zebras always find new ways to ruin the game we love. Because as long as refs keep making themselves bigger than the players, the NBA will always be one blown whistle away from disaster.